Hey everybody, welcome to another game of War Machine. I'm Lightem'up here. Sorry about the delay in getting you guys a battle report, but today we got a report from Adepticon from a couple weeks back. This will be my first game of the Iron Gauntlet, where I faced Protectorate with an Amon Raza list. He was throwing up the 6 Dervish version of it, I guess if you want to call that. So he's having 6 Dervishes with 2 Reckoners and a Castigator. Creates a pretty heavy jack wall that can do a lot of damage with the synergy bonuses and is hard to chew through, and you cannot stop them from pushing into you because they have a parry from Amon Raza. So tough brick to beat through. This will only be, I think, my second game against Amon ever, if I am correct. And of course we were playing Incursion, which is not my favorite of scenarios, but we will see how this one goes. Side note, Incursion is gone for SR 2017, so if you don't know what it is, feel happy. On to my list, I chose to go with Makeda 2. She was really a list I threw together on a whim, kinda. I didn't know if I was actually going to play her. I ended up playing her, I think, 3 out of my 4 games at Adepticon, and the 4th game I should have played her as well. She was a very good list. This list is what I call my heavy infantry list. So I've got my max unit of Cetrati in there with Vorkesh that walk up as a shield walling unit that can move quickly if I need them to, or can shield wall slowly, cast dash if I absolutely need to, so they can shield wall for an extra inch. The Ferox that go out and harass and then retreat back into my stay death range. And then the Legends of Halaak that can either be a cleanup crew for late game or can be a flanking crew if I don't need to worry about them getting taken out, like if the enemy doesn't have any guns. Other than that, I have a very small battle group, so I have to be careful about transfer targets, and I have to be sure that I keep my Molik Karn for when he is absolutely needed and I don't waste him. But on to the game. Okay, so some unusual terrain pieces I wanted to go over real quick. You'll notice that there are 2 forests on this board. The one that is on my right, between the middle and right flag, also has 2 little flame templates on it. For Adepticon, anytime that there was fire or flame pieces on a piece of terrain, that piece of terrain was burning earth as well as whatever else it was. So that particular forest is a burning earth forest that is a cloud effect and a continuous fire effect if you touch it. You don't have to go completely in it, you just have to touch it and you get the continuous fire effect. So, for this game, my opponent won the roll. He decided to go first. I actually decided to take this side of the board, not only because I have a hill that I can hide from any gunshots that he might have from the Reckoners, I believe it is, a wall if I absolutely needed it, but the main thing was I wanted that middle flag to be my gates of fire, my own personal 300 style fortress that I can prevent him from getting too many jacks into, and then I can crush him with my superior forces, since Makeda will not let them die. He does not have access to any grievous wounds, I believe, or if he does, it's very few. So my stay death is going to be extremely important, and if I can get him to funnel his troops in between those 2 forests, that is the key of this list. To that point, I have the Halaak, Legends of Halaak, on my left flank to go and get that flag at the top. They can take out a light probably on their own if necessary, but really they're just there to score the points. And then the cats are on the right flag, on my right flank, to be able to harass the right flag and keep his troops from coming around my right flank and flanking my Cetrati. So we will see how this goes. I don't have a picture of his first movement up, but basically he just ran up, and then here is my pictures running up. So this is after he ran up his first turn, and I've gone ahead and moved up my first turn. I did go into shield wall with the Cetrati. I felt that since he can send his jacks a very long way, I didn't want to risk anything, him being able to sidestep accidentally or any mistakes. It was an early morning. I do have a lot of Fury on the board. There are 5 Fury, it looks like, on the board. Makeda is only camping 1, so I don't have an awful lot of stay deaths this turn, but I don't think he'd be able to get into me very easily. I did put up deflection so that if he does get any gunshots with his Reckoners, or the Castigator, I think the Castigator has guns that are long enough, he would be hard pressed to hit me. Makeda is on the hill with deflection, so she is really hard to hit. And she's under the Krea bubble, so the Krea bubble and deflection and a hill makes her basically impossible to hit. If he does get any errant shots onto my guys, I have the one stay death that I can use to keep someone alive. But this is after the first round completely, and we will go on from here. Alright, so on his turn, he moves up not as aggressively as he could. He could have ran those dervishes up into my face to kind of jam me out of the scenario presence, but he did not. He put the dervishes pretty much right on line with the flags, with the big heavy hitters right behind them. I don't know what the choir did this turn. I don't believe they sang battle. He may have put warding on them, so I couldn't shoot them, but it wouldn't matter anyway because I don't have any guns other than the Soulward either. Anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. But you will notice on my left flank, he did not put anything on that flag. So plan 1 is the legends will go up there and they will score that flag, and that will be their flag for the game. When you're playing Incursion, if you do end up playing it before 2017 Steamroller comes around, the key to a really key part of Incursion is if you can take a flag on a side and then just keep your opponent from getting to that flag, you will probably win the game. A refused flank scenario, or in this case where I have the hot gate scenario in the middle, I'm going to be able to try and keep him away from that flag and do as much damage to him and just tie him up so that he can't get anything over to contests. That is how I can win this game. I believe his Castigator, or his Redeemers or whatever they are, Reckoners, took gunshots at me, but I don't think they did anything. So on to my turn 2. Alright, so my turn 2, you'll see that the... first off, we'll start on the right. Makeda ended up casting Dash and then camping on 4, staying on that hill and keeping where she wanted the Cetrati to be inside of 10 inches of her so that she'll be able to stay death on all of them. Moved up the cats and actually did a press forward order, I believe, and charged the cats into the dervish on the far right that is no longer in this photo, and the dervish number 3 that is just the second one to the left of the right flag. Ended up doing significant damage to the far right dervish and doing a little bit of damage to dervish number 3. Not as much as I should have, because some pretty low rolls even with boosted attack rolls. Ended up being able to... I wanted to charge Rhadiem in on the third dervish that was over there and do damage to him, but I figured I needed to take out the first one that was seriously injured, so I charged Rhadiem into the dervish that was on the far right of the screen, and he ended up dying to Rhadiem's armor-piercing shot. And then everyone was able to reform or reposition 3 out of the way of the dervishes that they were still engaging because of Dash, allowing them the ability to parry. After that, the Cetrati went ahead and shield walled, following through with the plans of the hot gate plans. The Cetrati shield walled into the hot gates, making sure to stay out of the forest because I don't need them getting caught on fire. I don't need extra random damage. They were managed, thanks to being weapon masters, to do significant damage to the dervish that was on the far left of the formation, that was just to the left of the central flag, and put a couple points of damage onto the dervish that was just to the right of the central flag as well. Or that is just to the right of the central flag. After that, sent the Krea and the Agonizer up. They both put up their auras so that he is damned either way, whether he wants to shoot or swing at my Cetrati. They're going to be armor, I believe, 22 against both gunshots and gunshots and melee attacks. And then they have 5 boxes and tough and stay death if all of that fails. So a lot of stuff going on there in the Cetrati. So obviously the dervish on the left is no longer there. That is because Molik Karn was able to get a free charge from the beast handlers after being enraged. Charged into that Dervish, killed him with his second swing, and then Fate Walkered back out of the danger threat range of the Reckoner. So pretty good. Plan is going well so far. The legends over there were able to go up and capture the first flag, so it'll be a end of this turn. We will be 1-0 Skorne, and moving on to my opponent's turn. Alright, so obviously you can see he was able to kill off a couple of guys. On the left side of my formation, his two dervishes in the center of the board and his reckoner over there in the center of the board were able to kill one Cetrati outright and bring two more of the Cetrati to 1 hit points, thanks to a couple of toughs and a couple of stayed deaths. But he was unable to chew through enough of them with the attacks that he had. Missing a couple times, and because I believe one of the dervishes was unable to get the increased power from, or I think the Reckoner was unable to get the increased power from the Vassal, he was hitting at a little bit lower power than he should have been. So I think he failed to kill one of the guys outright on his first hit. On the right side of the force, right side of my formation, the dervishes over there, the Castigator, and the Reckoner all combined to kill one of my cats that was outside of the stay death range, and then bring two more to 1 hit point thanks to stay death on itself. You'll notice that Rhadiem actually ended up backing up. That was thanks to Tough. He forgot I had Tough, and he attempted, or sorry, not Tough. Thanks to Dodge, he did not know or forgot that I had Dodge, and he took his first swing before getting his synergy up at Rhadiem, allowing Rhadiem to dodge out of the way and survive the next attack from the Dervish that was attacking him. Other than that, he wasn't able to get an awful lot going. He failed to realize, or did not realize, the necessary speed, the urgency, I guess, of getting a member to contest my left flag. So the legends are going to end up scoring on his turn as well, so it will be 2-0. And you can just make out that his clock is down to about 29 minutes. So he's running a little low on clock here, having only gone through 3 turns and not done an awful lot, but wasted about 31 minutes. I guess it's actually not bad clock management, but it's just the fact that he hasn't done an awful lot, which is nothing to blame on him, and that's what my list here is designed to do. Make sure that you waste time, waste attacks, and don't get an awful lot done while I get to do what I want to do pretty much the entire game. So we will see how this one goes, and we are on to the Skorne round 3, up 2-0. Alright, so on my turn, Makeda, we went ahead and went with her first. She's going to pop her feet, as you can see the feet token down there, and she will cast Dash again so that the parry effect will allow the Cetrati to charge at some pretty unusual angles. Nothing illegal, but just charges that they would not be able to make if they were afraid of free strikes. So with parry, they don't care about free strikes, and they are able to get 3 of the Cetrati onto one Dervish, 2 of the Cetrati and Vorkesh onto the other Dervish that was towing into the burning forest there on the right side of the flag. Between the 6 of them, they're able to kill off both Dervishes, which is pretty good, especially considering the one was full health. And then Molik Karn gets his free charge and enrage from one of the beast handlers, charges into the Reckoner and scraps him with a Fury to spare, thanks to some pretty hot dice on my part, actually. Not an awful lot going on the right side. I basically sent the cats in to harass his backlines. I killed a couple of the choir, I believe, and attempted to kill off. I jumped into his back arc of the Castigator and did some damage into the Castigator on the back arc. Charged in with Rhadiem into the Castigator as well, did significant damage, but didn't end up crippling his cortex, and backed up to keep the Dervishes from having line of fire, charge lanes into Makeda, and or into the Krea, and then sidestepping into Makeda. So the Rhadiem is there with the other cat to make sure that Makeda does not get a Dervish to the face and die, because even though she's camping 4, they could easily chew through that with stay deaths if they trick me, and I don't have a lot of beasts I don't have a lot of hit points on my beasts to transfer to. Even full health, they don't come with an awful lot. And then you'll notice, just to make sure he can't do everything he wants to do, or he can't just get some free charges, I ran my Soulward up into the Castigator, and the Soulward's going to say, hey, yeah, take me on, yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah, not going to do an awful lot. And then, of course, the Legends of Halaak camped on their flag over there telling night-night stories and scary wolf stories about other things they've done. Just hanging out over there, telling the campfire stories and scoring me control points, because that is the name of this game. I believe I was able to get all of my guys, all the Cetrati within 4 inches of the central flag, so I will go to 4-0 at the end of this turn. On to my opponent's turn. You'll notice that he was unable to get anything into contest range. We measured out whether or not one of the choir could move over there and do the contesting, and then I informed all I'd have to do is kill one choir member, sidestep back onto the flag, and I would still win. So at this point, he just killed off as what he could. He ended up killing the Soulward. Looks like he killed a couple more of the Ferox, not all of them, and that was about it. And then we call it a game. So this will be a Skorne victory with a 5-0 scenario win. So this was a great game. My opponent was very fun to play with. He played a very clean game, and it was a great start to the weekend. This was the first game of Adepticon for me on Thursday, and it turned out to be a pretty good weekend. So I would end up, if you guys don't follow my Facebook page, I ended up placing, I think, like 30th out of maybe 60 or so in Iron Gauntlet, losing round 2 or 3. I believe I lost round 3 to Trevi the Great, who went on to win the tournament, so don't feel too bad about losing to him. Plus Trevi, I believe he's one of those like really good players. If you know who Trevi the Great is, he's pretty damn good. Ended up losing, I lost to him in the second round, and then continued on the rest of the tournament. Went ahead and played Adepticon Masters on Friday. Went 3-1 in Adepticon Masters, losing to JVM. JVM's Viana 2 list that he took the whole Masters tournament with. I think he only played Rias once that whole game, the whole weekend. But it was a great time. If you guys weren't at Adepticon, sorry I didn't. If you were at Adepticon, sorry I didn't see you. Sorry I didn't meet with you guys. I did get to say hi to a couple fans, or a couple people who like the channel. If you guys are ever at a con and you want to see if I'm there, hit me up on Facebook and I will let you know if I'm there or not. And if not, hopefully I'll see you guys at War Machine Weekend. I'm always at War Machine Weekend. The next con that's coming up for me is, I believe, MuseCon, or Muse on Con, the Muse on Minis convention in Iowa. It is coming up Memorial Day weekend, I believe, in May, the May 26th, 7th, and 8th, something like that. Hope to see you guys there. I will be playing mostly not War Machine, but I might get some games of War Machine in. I will have my models with me, so if you guys want to get some Iron Arena games in or something like that, hit me up, let me know, and if not, I will catch you all next time. Have a good one.